Hi friends, Miles here, and in this video I want to do a breakdown of my recent track Dune. But first I want to quickly take some time to really say a big thank you to all of you giving feedback to Dune, streaming it, supporting it. It has been amazing to see how good it and how well it has been received by the whole community. So yeah, big thanks to each and every one of you reaching out. And as a lot of people asked if the song is available somewhere in lossless format, there is actually two ways. The first one is I just dropped an EP on Bandcamp. It's linked down in the video description. It doesn't only contain Dune, but all of my recent jams in WAV format. It's also a great way to support me. So if that's something you want to check out, link is in the description. Another way is to go to my Patreon. Here actually I load up all of my music in lossless format, and on top of that you get, depending on in which tier you are, you get some presets for synthesizers, you get sample packs, sound packs, early access to my videos. I'm also starting a Discord very soon, so yeah, lots of great stuff to discover. Yeah, but for now let's focus on Dune and how the song actually is made. And the first centerpiece of Dune is actually this synthesizer here, which is the Sub 25. The Moog Sub 25 is a very special synth because technically it's a mono synthesizer, a dual oscillator mono synthesizer, but the cool thing about it is that it has a duophonic mode, which basically means that the two oscillators here can play two different pitches, so to say. So when I now bring it in, you can hear right now the F is played by both oscillators, but now if I change the tone, you can hear that the second oscillator now switches to the higher octaves that I'm playing. And that's really cool to create harmonic progressions on this synthesizer, as I did in the track Dune. The oscillator settings, let's quickly go through it. Actually quite simple. Two oscillators set at the beginning to the same octave. Throughout the jam, actually, to increase the tension, I switch the oscillator switch. So if I would play this F over here, I wanted to have a little bit more impact. So what I do is now bring the octave one up. And you can already hear this gets a little closer to the intense part of Dune. The frequency are both the same, which means both oscillators are playing at the same pitch, and both are set to sawtooth waveforms, which actually are my favorite wave shapes for sound design in general. In the mixer section, both oscillators are playing at the same volume. I slightly also mixed in the sub oscillator just to give a little bit more in the lower frequencies, and also the noise oscillator is mixed in slightly. And then when it comes to performance, the most important thing obviously is the filter section. Moog synthesizers are famous for their filters. I think they sound just incredible. I start the jam usually with the filter completely down, which is why you don't hear anything, and then I slowly bring it in. And this is a great way throughout the whole jam to increase the energy and to really bring this piece to life. I'm also using the multi-drive, which I'll talk about in a second, but quickly going to the amp envelopes, which are basically very simple. You can see it has a little bit of attack on it, and apart from that, it's just a very long sustained sound. So the sustain is all the way up. There's some release time on it. So basically what we have now here, when we play a tone, it's a long sustained note, and the moment I release it, it just has a little bit of release time to it. But let's quickly talk about what makes the tune drone, because you can hear throughout the piece there's actually a lot of droning introduced. The sounds are moving, and this is actually achieved with three different techniques. The first one, I just briefly mentioned it, is multi-drive. So multi-drive actually is basically just a knob here or a drive function to overdrive the filter, and this adds some really nice movement. Right now it's set to 0, but take a listen what happens when I bring it up. The second technique I use is modulation. You can see here, this is the Moog Subsequent 25 modulation section, which is basically controlled by this wheel here. So if it's set all the way down, you don't hear any modulation at all. And then the more you bring it up, it brings in modulation amounts depending on the parameters you set here. I set the filter amount quite high to affect the filter. You can hear this. This is actually the filter, but also the pitch amount. The pitch amount I did to give the sounds even more movement and to also detune themselves against each other. So when we bring this now up, you can slightly hear it. If I now over-exaggerate this, you hear that it starts to be a little wonky. So it just has to be a little subtle amount. And then I didn't really touch the wave modulation amount. And then, of course, set the LFO rate quite high, as you can hear. And then the third way to bring in more tension, especially towards the end of the piece, if we are now here, this is now very extreme, just dial it back a little bit. The other way to do that is actually to use noise. Just brings in this white noise amount, which has actually quite a big impact, especially when the filter opens up a little bit more so that the higher frequencies are coming through. But yeah, I just also use it in a very subtle way because I don't want it to be too extreme. You probably hear it somewhere around here, I would say. And now you might probably ask, okay, that all sounds great, but there is some secret sauce thing missing. And that's actually right, because the whole time I played this now, I didn't add the effects to it, or better to say, the one effect. And this one, let's quickly switch to Ableton, is the Valhalla Supermassive. This is the effect actually here. It sits on a send and return channel in Ableton, and I can dial it in via my master channel because this is, by the way, a live set I'm currently preparing for a gig in Switzerland end of March and some other gigs throughout the year. And yeah, here I have on my master channel all the controls mapped. And you can see here this control called Moog Shimmer, and this actually is the Valhalla Supermassive. And for this jam, I brought it in to 100%. And just to show you what a big difference that makes, let me just quickly play that for you and then slowly bring this one in. Just creates this beautiful long reverb tail and also adds a lot of shimmer to the jam, and I think it just sounds incredibly amazing. It's yeah, like I said, Valhalla Supermassive. And just to show you a little bit of the settings, I also mentioned this already in the YouTube comments. It's based on a preset called Billions and Billions, which I think works perfectly fine for creating these extremely long tails. And I set the mix here to 100% because of course I can control the mix here via my master. Here I can say basically how much this effect is applied to the Moog. And yeah, for this jam I use it at 100% from the beginning, because also if the filter is closed, it already starts to create these beautiful soundscapes around the sounds that are played. And yeah, it's just an essential part of the whole sound design for this piece. And it's actually a free plugin, so if you want to check it out, if you're using a DAW, you can just download it from Valhalla. It's free, which is crazy because it's amazing. It sounds great. You have so many options to do some great stuff with it. So yeah, it's something I can highly recommend. And then, yeah, maybe just to quickly go back to the Moog on the harmonic side of things, there's actually not so much special happening. The piece is in F minor, and yeah, we start on F, and then we slowly go up the pentatonic, and then at the middle of the piece, I switch this octave here and switch to the F an octave higher. And this is then when I start to play this riff. Very, very simple. Matches the soundscape in such a nice way, because yeah, both are, I think this simple piece that is constantly repeating adds to the tension that I want to create while opening the filter, while bringing in the modulation, while kind of like building up the whole piece. And yeah, in the end it comes to this drop where no kick is coming in, nothing. Sorry to disappoint so many people, but yeah, basically then it drops kind of like back to here, and then I start to play the riff with the filter quite low at a lower octave here. Valhalla Supermassive being kind of like the glue, keeping the whole piece together and very atmospheric. And yeah, that's it. That's how Dune is made, how Dune was composed and how it was performed. It's a live performance, and yeah, it's a piece that I really, really like. It will also be, I can already disclose that it will be the opener track for my upcoming live shows. And yeah, I think it just works amazing as an opener and as a closer. I've done that before as well. But yeah, as an opener, it already sets the scene, and then you can go from there wherever. It's great. So yeah, again, big thanks for all the support, for liking Dune and everything. There's also lots new music coming very, very soon. The EP is just out on Bandcamp via my label Pity Victory Collective. Feel free to check it out via the link in bio. And then I'll see you in the next video. Take good care and stay creative. Bye.